Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Nick Tan Chats, my magic and mostly mentalism review show. My name is Nick Tan, and on today's episode, I'll be doing a book review of The Book of M by Radek Hoffman. So hi again guys, welcome back to the channel. As always, thanks for showing up, thanks for tuning in, and thanks for spending some time with me today. So based on the timeline, alright, of me uploading videos on my channel, alright, you'll see that the previous video, the last video that I did, has been like, 2 weeks or so ago. Well, I mean, not exactly, but there was a previous episode, and that was, well, let's just say there was a bit of an episode with that episode, alright, because the creator for the previous episode was really unhappy about the review that I did, or the style that I did it in, and so he asked that I take it down. Okay, so I think a couple of hundred of you managed to watch the episode, so I don't know, this will be the last time I think that I will be taking down a review of some kind. I mean, I might do an episode just to do a bit of a rant, okay, about that whole episode, while I've taken down the episode. Well, I do think that this is my channel, so I think I can do an episode, right, just to tell you guys about what happened and some of the lessons that I've learned, all right, in doing that particular review, because in the grand scheme of things, I'm still quite new, to the whole, review on YouTube kind of a thing. So I'm still learning how it works, okay, especially at the green place. Alright, so, well, yeah, I've learned certain lessons and I've told myself to kind of implement certain things, alright, in future to kind of avoid such incidents from happening again in future. But anyhow, enough of magic and mentalism politics, alright, let's get down to today's episode. So today I'll be doing a book review for Radek Hoffman's Book of M, alright. Now Radek is a mentalist from Poland. Okay, and so this is one of the pluses, I think, of doing a YouTube review channel, all right, because I've gotten the opportunity to make friends, like from all over the world, right, mentalists from everywhere, and Radek is one of them, all right. Ever since I got to know him sometime in, I believe in August, all right, of 2021, when I first did a review for him for a product that he released called the B3 envelopes. So yeah, Radek and I have been chatting on and off over Facebook, all right, ever since then, and he has really kindly sent me his book, all right, the Book of M, for me to chat about on this show. So as you would expect, all right, this book is a book on mentalism, all right, so it contains about 9 or 10 mentalism routines, all right, for stage performances, and it also contains some essays, all right, by Radek, talking about his opinions, all right, on performing mentalism. So this is a hardback book, all right. It's not like a large book, all right, not bulky, all right. So it's quite easy to carry around, quite convenient for me to just bring around and read whenever I can, and it runs for about 151 pages. So as with most of you who are watching a magic or mentalism book review, all right, I think you'll be interested to find out what the contents of the book are, right? The kind of routines that are in the book. So I will spend some time just running through some of the routines, and then I'll tell you my opinions on the routines as well. So Radek comes across as the kind of performer, that tries to apply quite traditional kind of material, but tries to apply them in different ways, all right, that kind of suits his vision for how mentalism is meant to be performed. And I think that shines through in a couple of the routines, all right? So let's talk about some of the routines. There's a routine called Cup and Ball, Ball and Cup, all right? I think that's the name of the routine. So this is actually a way of using a chop cup, all right? A chop cup within the context of a mentalism routine. So basically what happens during the routine is that the spectator will be guessing whether the ball is under the cup or it's in your pocket, but then at the end of the routine there's a kind of kicker where you show that you have actually predicted the outcome, all right, the kind of guesses that the spectator will make. And also, even though the spectator was randomly kind of chosen, you will also show that you have predicted what that spectator looks like as well. So this is actually quite a fun, light-hearted routine, I think. And when I first read it, it kind of reminded me of something that I saw from Ran Pink, I believe, all right? Because he contributed a routine for Mosaics Decisions cards. Okay, so that it kind of has that kind of a feel, but I think if you present it in a very fun, kind of a light-hearted way in a stage show, it has the potential to be quite, quite entertaining for audiences to watch. Next up is a routine called Fame. So it is a routine that involves two spectators, all right, where you have both of them think of different celebrities, all right, and then you kind of reveal the celebrity that the first spectator is thinking of, and then for the second spectator, well, let's just say you can kind of reveal an additional piece of information as well, along with the celebrity that they are thinking of. So this is a routine that I found to be, well, method-wise, it is a really practical kind of a routine, and the method, well, it has become quite popular in recent years, okay, in the form of notepads, all right. But I've always preferred this kind of handling of that principle, all right. So while Radek talks about celebrities, you don't really have to use just celebrities alone. The method itself and the structure of the routine can be used to kind of cater to any kind of theme that you may like to use. But yeah, structurally sound, very practical kind of a routine. Next up is a routine called Old Game. All right, Old Game, New Rules. So this routine is a kind of like Clue, the murderer kind of a game, kind of a theme. So what happens is you have three spectators on stage, and each of them choose the role that each of them will play. All right, so one of them will be a victim, one of them will be the witness, and one of them will be the murderer. And then you take them through a kind of visualization exercise, all right? Have each of them imagine themselves actually playing this role. You will then be able to reveal who is the victim, who is the witness, and of course, who is the murderer. But not only that, all right, for the murderer, you will also be able to reveal an apparently thought of weapon, all right, that they've chosen to commit the crime with. Again, really practical routine, all right, and can be quite fun as well, all right, to perform on stage for audiences. As with the previous routine, the structure of the routine and the method can be applied to other themes as well, so you don't have to just kind of strictly stick to the murderer kind of a theme, right? It could be really anything else. The next routine is a routine called a Thought Compass. All right, now this is actually my favorite routine in the book. It deals with a mental epic style kind of a effect, all right? I think I can say that much, all right? So what happens is behind your back on stage, a spectator is asked to choose a postcard, okay, of a place that they would like to travel to somewhere in the world, and then on that postcard they write down the name of someone that they will be traveling with, and also the date, okay, that they will be taking this imaginary journey. They seal that postcard into an envelope. The envelope is then handed to a member of the audience to look after, and then from here you will then be able to reveal all three pieces of information. So while it is basically a mental epic style routine, all right, I really enjoyed the way the method has been applied in this routine, okay, and the way Radek actually gets into, well, I mean, let's just say to kickstart the mental epic. Okay, if you know what I mean, you know what I mean, all right? Just to get the method started, all right? I think it makes it quite deceptive. And because everything is done behind your back, all right, it really seems impossible that you can know any information at all. So I do realize that if I go through every single item in the book, it's going to take too long, all right? So I'm just going to, go through a couple more items. There is one called a story to tell, all right? So this is kind of like a card trick, all right, where you're also able to reveal the name of a loved one, all right, from the spectator. There is a routine called extrasensory participation, all right, which is a stage routine done with ESP cards. And then there is a routine called ECAN, all right, ECAAN, or E card at any number. All right, so this is a kind of any card at any number style kind of a routine that can be performed for stage. It is not the kind of an approach that I would use. I do perform any card at any number on stage using like a jumbo deck, all right? So it is not the kind of approach that I would take, but I think it is really practical, all right? And it might interest some of you, but I will say that while it is really clever, and I'm sure it looks and works really well, you will need really strong acting chops, I think, at one point in the routine. Then we come to, I think, what would be the most controversial routine in the book, all right? And it's a routine called Spirit Knows. This is a kind of like a Q&A style kind of a routine. However, Radek performs it like for real, all right? As in, I mean, he doesn't really contact the spirits, all right? But for real meaning, he really commits to the premise of speaking to spirits. So during the course of the routine, you know, as with any kind of Q&A style routines, members of the audience will be asked to fill in some cards. Then on stage, there'll be a pendulum kind of a sequence that's done. There is a sequence with spirit slates. And then, you know, Radek will start revealing information as well, you know, apparently through speaking to spirits. So not only is the effect quite controversial, all right, because I mean, depending on your opinions on performing mentalism on stage, all right, Radek feels really strongly about performing this way. So not only is the effect controversial, but I think even the method as well is going to be a little bit controversial, because it uses something that I think is frowned upon in the community for some reason. You know, I've got no like qualms about using such a method. I don't use it, okay, but I don't have like strong opinions against using this kind of an approach. And if it does create, you know, a more perfect kind of illusion, I don't see why not, okay? But I do know that for those of you who buy the book, you will find one part of the method kind of, yeah. But well, you know, it's not a routine that I would perform, but imagining it, how it would play out, you know, in its entirety, you know, in a theatrical kind of a setting, I can imagine it playing really, really strongly. So those are the routines in the book, and then we come to the section where Radek writes a couple of essays, okay? So there are essays on where we should get inspiration from, as opposed to just, you know, mentalists and magicians, you know, our favorite guys. We can also get inspiration from other sources as well. So he talks a little bit about that. There is an essay about context, okay, where Radek talks about his opinions on the framing of routines so that they come across, you know, really important, right? And it's not just treated like a trick. There is a section devoted to that method, that controversial method that I was speaking about earlier, all right? So it is interesting, all right, to see Radek's opinions on that particular method. So I love mentalism books, all right? I love reading books, and to me, it really is like almost mind reading, right? You're really reading the mind of the author. What I found interesting about the Book of M is that while the routines are not like routines that I would personally use, right, you know, in the kind of environments that I perform in, but it is different, all right? So I think that importance of learning from different kinds of performers, you know, reading like the material from different kinds of performers is an enriching experience, you know, because I don't want to just be kind of, you know, stuck in like the kind of routines that I would personally use, right? I would also like to see the kind of things that other guys are doing out there, and this book is actually just one of them, right? So again, it is different. It's not the kind of material that I would perform, but I found reading it and going through it quite interesting. Also, while the routines are not routines that I would perform, the methods that were used and the structure, all right, in terms of the methods that were used, can be easily applied to other things, you know, other routines, using themes that would suit you, all right, personally as a performer. So you don't have to perform, you know, the routines exactly as how Radek chooses to perform them, all right? That's his vision for performing his mentalism, and I think it's always something to applaud, all right, when someone dares to put out material that, you know, is just so them, all right, and not like material that would just kind of please everyone else. So that's all I have to say about the Book of M, all right? I found it to be an interesting book. The only thing I can say, the only like negative, I suppose, is that because this book was actually translated from Polish. translated from his language. Okay, so some of the English is going to take you a bit of work to understand. I mean, it's not difficult, all right? It's written clearly. It's just that the phrasing for certain things it's clear that, you know, it's been translated, all right? So that will take you just like a double take, all right, just to kind of read and fully understand. I want to thank Radek, all right, for sending me a copy of the Book of M so that I can chat about it with you guys on this show. If you'd like to pick up a copy for yourselves, I will leave the link in the description box down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching today's episode. I do hope you enjoyed it and got something out of it. All right, so till the next episode, do take care of yourselves, stay safe, have fun with your magic and mentalism, and I will see you on a future episode of Nique Chats.